By the end of this video, you're going to learn how to maximize your gut health. Now, when we think of food, we usually think about carbs, fat, and protein. But fiber is actually one of the most important components of food that you need to consume in order for you to be at your healthiest. This includes both types of fiber, soluble and insoluble. But most people aren't getting enough, especially the insoluble. For adults, it should be about 30 to 35 grams of fiber per day. Soluble and insoluble fiber, they come together to form a gel on the inside of your small intestine. When this happens in the first section of the intestine, the duodenum, absorption is decreased there by about 30%, which is a good thing. To get a little more specific, the rate of digestion and absorption of carbohydrates there, including starches, monosaccharides, and disaccharides, is dramatically slowed down. This ultimately slows down the delivery of these molecules to the liver, which results in a slower and a lower insulin release from the pancreas, exactly what you want to prevent insulin resistance. Now, at the same time, this also prevents the liver from converting that excess energy into fat. There are 100 trillion bacteria that make their home in your gut. You can think of those bacteria as some being good bacteria and the others being bad. They are constantly in a battle with each other to claim as much gut territory as they can. The good bacteria, like Bacteroides, they need more energy to thrive and fight off that bad bacteria, like Firmicutes. Give the good bacteria both types of fiber and watch them win the war. If you don't feed your gut bacteria, they will feed on you by eating away at the protective mucin layer of your intestinal lining. And when this happens, you start getting microscopic leaks in the gut wall. Next thing you know, you have unwanted chemicals flowing into your bloodstream, which generates inflammation. This is the so-called leaky gut syndrome. Another nice thing about fiber is that it moves the food down the intestine at a quicker rate, which stimulates the release of the gut hormone YY3-36, and this tells your brain that you're full. Soluble fiber is metabolized by gut bacteria into short-chain fatty acids, one of those being something called butyrate. This is great because butyrate is an anti-inflammatory molecule and it suppresses the release of insulin from the pancreas. Insoluble fiber has another benefit. It acts as a gentle brush inside your colon, which brushes away the old dead cells, and this helps to reduce your risk of getting colon cancer. What about a molecule called spermidine? This chemical is found in cheese and mushrooms, which can improve cardiovascular and cancer risk in animals. But since our liver filters out spermidine after we eat it, the best way to increase it in our bloodstream is to get it from our gut bacteria, and you can achieve this by keeping the good bacteria in your gut happy by giving them what they want. Fiber. Now there's so many foods, including bread, that have lots of fiber in them, but that is only the soluble fiber. So when you see bread with a label on it that claims to have 42 grams of fiber, guess what? That's the added soluble fiber they added back after they processed that bread, which they already took out the insoluble fiber. The original form of the grain, meaning the whole intact grain, still has its original insoluble fiber. So the only truly healthy bread is the kind that is whole intact grain. For example, Ezekiel bread, which is in the freezer section. Now you can get insoluble fiber from other sources as well, but guess what they all have in common? They all are unprocessed food. For example, seeds, nuts, vegetables, legumes, and whole intact grains all provide insoluble and soluble fiber. You absolutely need both of them. Processed food removes the insoluble fiber and you can't add it back to the food or give it in the form of a pill. It just doesn't work that way. It's like trying to put toothpaste back into the bottle. Another thing is that diet sweeteners, like in diet sodas, Red Bulls, Monster drinks, they can also alter the composition of gut bacteria, leading to leaky gut and subsequent inflammation, and stimulate insulin release, leading to belly fat being deposited. Antibiotics, they kill off bacteria, including the good bacteria in our gut. This is why it's best to avoid animal products unless they are antibiotic free. And when plants are sprayed with pesticides like atrazine and glyphosate, those chemicals in those fruits and vegetables can also alter our intestinal bacteria and not for the better. That's why it's always best to go organic whenever possible. Consuming trans fats, which mostly come from fried food, ends up generating at least some degree of gut inflammation. You might notice your stomach making noises after fried foods. This is likely the reason. So the best way to maximize your gut health is to eat enough organic, unprocessed food. Most people need about 30 to 35 grams of fiber per day, food that has both soluble and insoluble fiber. And this is mainly going to come from vegetables, seeds, nuts, legumes, and whole intact grains. So that would include things like oats, quinoa, barley, amaranth, and long grain wild rice. And maybe you're wondering, do I need probiotics? Well, it depends. Check out this video for more information on that.